Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bring in the Heat with Corey and Shane. I'm Corey.
I'm Shane.
So this show is all about the HVAC industry and the people behind the companies that make it all happen. So, Shane, who do we got with us today?
So, because this guy happens to be probably one of the best storytellers I've ever seen, I might as well tell you a story about how I first met him. He may not even know this, actually. Years and years and years ago, we used to go to these events called Boss, and this particular one I think was in Tucson. And I walk into the lobby of this hotel where this event's going to be, and there's like this group of people all standing around this guy with a goatee. At that point in time, I think that I had never seen before, and he's telling this story. He's got this loud voice, so I kind of walk over, and he proceeds to tell one of the best stories of how he got out of a ticket that he should not have gotten out of. In my entire life, I was like, who is this dude? And it turns out it was Bryan Kuvakos. So Bryant is going to be our guest today to chat with.
Come on, BK. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. It's good to see you guys.
How's Phoenix today?
Live.
Live and
Phoenix is good. We're in the best weather. You know, it's November time frame.
Absolutely. It's the only time you get a break for the next 3-4 months.
What is the weather like there in November, actually? I've never been then, I don't think.
Well, you know, from October all the way till about May, it's beautiful. I mean, your highs are in the mid 70s, 80s. You know, it doesn't get really cold.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, after that, for about 3-4 months, it's like living right outside the skirts of hell. But other than that, it's good. It's good most of the time. It's beautiful weather.
I like what you always say. You know, don't tell me it's dry heat. Stick your oven in your head in your oven. Tell me that's not freaking hot.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, people try to say, yeah, you got a dry heat out there. It's not too bad. It's like, yeah, well, you stick your head in your oven for a while, you'll see how good dry heat is too.
Yeah, it still burns your hair like a champ. Well, Bryant, thanks for being on, brother. I want to get a little background because, you know, I've Googled you, right? And only stuff with Tolin comes up, so I can't find any dirt on you. You hadn't done anything well enough to hit the newspapers with it, at least internet. Give us a just for everybody watching that may have never met you before, give us an idea of Bryan Kuvakos' background. Where are you from? How'd you start out in business? Right?
Okay.
Give us a little timeline.
Okay. Well, I'm originally from Chicago, south side of Chicago, literally the city itself. A lot of people say they're from Chicago, but they're, you know, from a suburb or whatever. I'm a product of the city school system, so I can't read and I can't write. But other than that, that's where I grew up. I can. Oh yeah. Especially being a Cub fan on the south side. That always made it for an adventure.
Yeah.
I got into the HVAC industry in 1989,
Okay.
1990. I interviewed with the train company in Chicago. And actually, that's where I met Sam Giampapa, who's one of our you guys are familiar with at our company. He did.
Oh, really?
He did. So I was going up against like 15 other interviews, and I didn't know. I didn't even have central air conditioning in my home in Chicago. So air conditioning was a whole different ballgame. But I joined them. He hired me, and I was with Train almost between 8 and 10 years, almost 10 years. And then I left Train, went to York International in Chicago, and was with them for a period of time. And then they moved me out to San Antonio, Texas in 2000, and worked for York there in 2000 to 2005. And then in 2005, got a call from Tolin Mechanical. They were looking for a branch manager here in Arizona, and I've been here in Arizona.
All right, so back up. Did you start in a sales seat at Train, or did you come in as a technician? Give us that ad.
Yeah. I started off selling maintenance contracts for Train. That's what I was hired for, a service sales rep, and then started with them selling service contracts. And then in 1993, Train opened up a section another kind of department that was called the Existing Building Market Group, which was it allowed some of us, it was me and another gentleman, to sell service contracts and sell equipment. So they would match us up with a sales engineer, and then we would do both.
There you go.
Because we had a lot of experience on the service side and relationships. So it did that. And then when I went over to York, I started as a service sales rep, and then was a service manager. And so I got into the ops side of it, but I still sold. I had the downtown market of Chicago, and then was promoted to a regional service sales rep for York. And then they had a branch manager spot open up in San Antonio that they asked me to go down and to run. And so that's what I've been doing. So background's always been in service, and I've been blessed to kind of to get in the operations side, so you get both of those. And so that's helped me out in my career to have both sides of the industry, sales and ops.
And did you know who Tolin was when they called, or when you started?
I had no idea who Tolin was. Never. Yeah, had no idea about it. It was an interest because Tolin, is a company that's really focused on, selling contracts as their main line. We're not a typical mechanical, is what I always like to say. We don't do no new construction or anything like that. So it was right up my field, something I was comfortable with. And it's been a fit since I jumped on board.
Was it obviously two massive, industry leaders, right, in the equipment world that you worked for, and then you went to work for somebody that don't make equipment at all. Was that scary?
No, it wasn't, because with the two big those two are probably your top manufacturers, right, worldwide. And while they make great products, service was something that was just something second to support the main line of selling equipment. And coming to Tolin, selling contracts was their main focus. That was really interested. Because that was my thing, and that really caught my attention of building a business that's around that philosophy, that's really customer focused on selling contracts and service. And I was excited about it. So that was exciting to come on board with a company with that focus on that.
How many technicians were in Phoenix when they hired you?
Oh man, we had, I believe it was either 5 or 6 techs at that time. We were doing about $1.5 million in revenue.
How many technicians you got today?
And the reason why today we have nearly 50 technicians, 52 technicians in Phoenix, and we have about 16 in Tucson now. We didn't have any business in Tucson at that time. So
that's great.
Yeah, we've done some good growing. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So in your career, you are a little bit of a rare bird who did sales, was good at sales, but then you ended up having to get involved in operations, and you haven't gone back to sales strictly. So I assume you also like the operations side of it. What is it? Because those are two interesting things, right? Because they both have the same goal, but they're coming at it a lot of times from different perspectives. What is it about those two things that causes you to like both?
I think, what really, you can't do either one without the other, and the challenge and the opportunity is that being a service business, if you can mend both sides of those business with the same philosophy or the same goal, then you become unstoppable, in my opinion. So, if you're selling what is quality service, which is really representing the operation side of your business, and the operation side of the business believes in doing what we say we're going to do, and you put those two together and you present that to a client, that's really what the client wants. Right. They want the ability of knowing that, when they sign something, you're coming in from a service position that's saying, I'm going to take care of this and be able to solve your issues. And then when you actually follow through and you do that work, then there's the win. And for me, even with the sales background, the two coming together, you are now really, you're really meeting the need of a client.
Right.
And there's a good feeling with that. There's the excitement of success. There's the excitement of growth. You start to build a reputation about your company and who you are.
Right.
And that's really what it's about, So if you have those two split, and I like both of them because they both have to be hand in hand to be successful. And when you see that come together and you're delivering the same goal, the same message, and the same level of service, then you see the success behind it, and you just start watching your business grow. And that's kind of what our philosophy's been. So I like both of them because they're both challenging, right? They're both customer driven. They're just coming from different angles, right? One is you're selling what you're going to do, and the other one is you're going to do what you said you're going to do. And that's cool to see. So
the third piece, I think, to your job now also, we've gotten to know each other over the years, and along with, being very interested in sales, and Bryant does help us at our boot camps with all of our new reps. He comes in, he's one of the instructors who comes to boot camps and helps train. So a lot of you have met him before already, but you also are fairly passionate about leadership, because that also now, because you have like the standard things that you're measured by that you have to do in your job, but leadership's one of those ones that's a little bit more difficult. Why don't you talk a little bit about your philosophy on how you lead the teams that you're responsible for?
Yep. I mean, you and I have talked about this. You're only going to be successful. You're only going to be as good as you are if you're in the process of bringing good people on board, that have the desire to believe in what they're doing, but then appreciating how they feel and seeing success with what they're doing. And in leadership, I feel that leaders set the course. I mean, there's nothing that I would have any of my people do that I'm not going to still be doing myself. And you bring in those people that have the ability that you don't have to micromanage them. You have to support them. You have to train them, and you let them go out and be leaders in the field. So if you could develop in the sales department, the ops department, I don't care what departments you have, leaders in all those departments. Each person is a leader. They take ownership for what they're doing, and they believe in what they do. And as someone who's leading the organization, you've got to be able to practice what you're preaching. And that's when you see the people develop with that. They take on the same philosophy, and it allows people to do what they've got to do, but also they come together as a team. So everyone is working together for the same goal. So, that's one of the big things that's always been for me is that, we have people that do certain jobs, but when people are leaders at what they do, each person, then instead of having a few leaders and a team out there, you have a team of leaders out there set on the same goal with the same passion to be successful, and so that's been the best part of what I do, is just going through that. Now, it's easier said than done. You go through a lot of people that I wouldn't lead a tomato farm, but then you find those few that you realize that they've got great potential and their strengths. And that's the fun part is, no one person is the same, but if you put the right team of people that have a leadership mindset, you all fill the gaps of each other that just bring you together as one unit. And I've always said that there's never one mind that makes all the decision. It's being able to bring concepts from different people and different views. And then you decide, hey, this is the route we're going to go. And that's how you get people also to buy into moving down the same line. I think that's important.
I want to ask a
independent thinkers.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I wanted to revert.
I was going to say independent thinkers with.
Go ahead.
The hell is this? What kind of podcast
I
is
don't
this?
know. It's a delay, obviously.
It's called the second one we've ever done. That's what it is.
You're in Phoenix. They anticipate.
Yeah, we're way out here.
Yeah,
You're already on the
yeah.
East Coast.
Yeah.
All right.
You go.
All right. Along with that, obviously you're talking about what you're doing today in leadership, but I want to revert back right quick. To be sure, there's a lot of people in our organization that are in sales or folks who we might share this with on LinkedIn. They're also in sales because they know me and Shane or whatever, or you. How does a guy that didn't even have air conditioning in his house start with train selling air conditioning service and be successful? That's what I want to know, right? How did you go from? I was similar, but I'll let you answer that question right quick. What did you do different? What was it? Was there some secret? What was the key ingredients?
I think the key ingredients is I believe that if you're going to be in sales, and I really don't care what you're selling, you got to be you have to believe in what you're doing, and that what you're doing is going to make an impact, a positive impact. If you don't believe that, when you get in front of a client, as you guys know, I want to leave the client now with an idea that I'm another sales rep in the HVAC market coming to try to sell them something. I want to leave the client with a mindset that says, why ain't I doing business with this guy? I mean, why aren't we with them? And the only way you can really do that is have people that are passionate and they really believe in what they're selling and that making an impact. And when you do that, when you're sitting in front of a client will pick up, right out of the gate, if this is a job or if this is a passion, like you really believe in who you're representing and what you're going to do. And it becomes, you can move the mark off of being a salesperson in front of a client to being a consultant, someone that's got their, has their good in their mind, that this is a partner. This is someone that wants this company wants to see me be successful at what they're doing. And I think, right when I came on in, you don't want to give me a lot of knowledge on HVAC, because if I have too much knowledge, then I'm going to suck at what I do. I want to know just enough to make me dangerous and have the right people around me to answer those real difficult technical questions and things like that. I want to come in with the philosophy that says, I believe of what you're doing as a client, and I believe I can help you, and I'm going to do everything I can to do that. And I think that's what it was. So as soon as I came on board, I had good people that brought me in, like Sam and other folks that helped me to understand the industry. And from that, I love people. So I love to meet people. I like to know what they're doing. I'm excited about different industries that this industry leads us to, and learning about what's out there. And then right away, I want to be a problem solver. I want to find a solution I have that will just make this client be able to do what they do and become successful with their company and what they're doing by the services we're giving them, to remove that part of their worry.
I think that genuine interest,
and that's what I did when I came up
in people, and the passion that you carry to everything. I don't care if you're telling a story about speeding in a Dodge Challenger, right? The story is going to be passionately told.
Yes,
you'll be like leaning in, like
it's real life stuff. Yeah, that's right. And I think that's really the key. And I think just like in our own lives, you pick that up, and I've always had that. That's just and that's what I mean is, you can train people on a product and a service, but you can't teach people how to be genuine or real in what they're doing. It's something that's in them, and you can find those people in any level of business and bring them on board to your company, and they'll be successful.
Right.
Is what I believe, and that belief has worked pretty well for me over the last 35 years or so. So. And that's all I did. I just came in really loving what I was doing and believing in the company and going out there and just, bringing the good news, if you will, to every person I could find in regards to what we could do for them.
That and hiring people from your gym.
concept.
Both of those strategies have worked really well for you.
And you better pay attention to
They
your
sure
skill
have.
game if you want to get hired by Kuvakos. I'm going to tell you right
Understand
now.
who you're working out with.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
We'll give a shout out to those guys.
One
Hey,
hell of
man,
a successful guy.
Javier Gambo and Leo Acosta have certainly put some numbers on the board. I think that one of the things that the couple of guys that took my seat at Piedmont, I learned this honestly from you, like the way you come on, the way you're hiring or bringing someone on board, the expectation that you present for them will stick with them, right? So first time I came to Bryan Kuvakos' office, there was a $1 million goal, in the back office in the hallway, like between the bathrooms or something. And I had not seen that in anybody's office. And everybody knows if you're in the maintenance business, selling $1 million in our world is a lot, right? In a single year. And you've had multiple people to do it. And it just doesn't happen by mistake, right? It is you're setting a bar, which I believe is a significant, part of the battle, right? Of where people, the expectation that you're joining, right? When you come into the organization. So kudos on leading that way, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Two good guys.
So you're growing up in Chicago. Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have an older sister and an older brother.
The baby.
So I'm the baby.
My man.
You did know how to fight then.
Bro.
I'm a cute baby. I'm a cute baby, though. I mean, my brother and my sister hate to admit it, but, I was loved and adored by my parents.
Bro, it's the truth. And I'm the baby and I was the only boy. And I'm going to tell you, man, like, life was awesome. There were, like I was 26-year-old before I ever knew I made a mistake. It was great, man. It was perfect.
Right. Yeah. My mom set me on a course that says life owes you. And I'm like, all right, I'm good with that.
Good.
Sounds good to me, man.
That's perfect. All right, so tell us a little bit about your family, Bryant. You got family, kids. I know you just had a significant event happen in your life. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, just got married to a beautiful woman out of Texas. Needed to find a woman out of Texas because those women don't take any crap. You see what I'm saying? So she I needed her more than I think she needed me, but that was okay. We bargained that out. But yeah, she's beautiful. She's from Texas. Her name's Alicia, and she comes with 3 kids. 2 are older, Caden and Aspen. They're still in Texas, and they have families. And then the little girl, Bryan, who's going to be turning 13 here, is cool. You would think that her and I have been together our entire life. She's adorable. And I just love her to death. And then I have an older boy from my first marriage, and he is 32 now, married out here. He's an author.
Cool.
And he is he's all the man I've always wanted to be. He's a great young man, and real proud of him. So yeah, that's got that, and jumped into a marriage here back in October, just this past October, and yeah, it's good. Loving life.
Congratulations, man.
Heck yeah.
Loving life.
Where'd you go on your honeymoon?
Yeah. We're planning to go on our honeymoon in 24 and looking to go to the homeland, Greece.
Oh yeah.
So
cool.
That would be my homeland.
That's what I say. Not from Texas.
Take your
yeah.
Amarillo.
My homeland. Yep.
That's cool.
That's right. Yep.
So
yeah, we're looking to do that in June. So
I got one. Try to pick maybe one. You can pick up two if you want. What would you, out of your career, right? You've been in HVAC business how long? How many years?
35.
35. Give me
35
give me a highlight. What do you think as you think back through the years? What's a highlight of Bryan Kuvakos' career that stands out?
Man, that's a tough one. I mean, because when you've been going that long, there's, you go through stages, and in each of those stages you get a highlight, I think, and each highlight is different. I think, and when you say highlight, I mean, I think the one that stands out that helped me the most to be carry me through all the stages is having a client my first year, probably my first 6 months in this industry selling, teach me the importance of asking for the order. And you might say that, how in the hell is that a highlight? Well, it was the most educational thing for me to go through. Understanding that we can do all the right things. We could lay all the right offerings. We can be great at building a relationship. But if we don't have that confidence to just boldly say, hey, where the hell's the order? Well, and then you could dance all you want. You know what I'm saying? You could keep calling that same girl when you're young, and she could be really, really nice to you, but you ain't going anywhere with her if you don't ask her out on a date. Right. And I was so confident in myself as far as selling and relationship and all that I just thought that people would throw the order at me, just saying, you did everything we wanted. And I had a gentleman from a major corporation when I was with Train, pretty much loved everything I gave him, loved everything I presented, and then just, dragged me out for like 7 more months. And I'm like, I don't understand this, and finally, I made the appointment, got in front of him, and I said, hey, I just wanted to, check in with you. And he would always meet with me and always agree with me. And I said, I gave you what you wanted, right? He's like, oh yeah. And I go, and the price seems to be right? We went through that. He's like, oh yeah, everything's fine. I go, and you like what we do and how yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, well, what is it going to take? And he goes, what is it going to take for what? I go, to get an order. And he said, ask me.
There you go.
And so I asked him, and it was a big contract. It was over $500,000 contract.
Heck yeah.
And I finally asked him, I said, well, hey, can I have the order? And he opened up his drawer and he pulled out 2 pieces of paper, and one was a PO for the contract made out to the company. And he flipped it over to me, and I looked at him like, oh, this is great, And he said to me, look at the date. I looked at the date, and the date was literally a week after I made my presentation of my offering. That's when he cut me the PO. And then he held it that entire time. And so that's a highlight for me in something that set me on a career path, about what I did and what I was doing. So if we believe in what we're doing and we love what we're doing, then we should have no issue asking for what we need back from the client. We should be confident in that. So that's the highlight. You told me I could do 2. The second one is at this stage in my life is just watching folks you bring on that come from all different places and seeing them be successful. I mean, that's a highlight for me as I'm getting closer to a point where I won't maybe do this for a while. I think I'll plan on retiring. So if anyone from Tolin's watching, my retirement date is when I'm 87. So
Be a minute.
So if you all thought you were going to get rid of me in a few years,
Based off the current,
there you go.
It looks like
I just got married. I'm good. I'm good.
I'm going to work till I die. Yeah, that's right.
Right. I feel like I'm 35. So I got another 30 years left in me.
So Brian, we have a lot of people in sales hopefully listening to this. Who knows? We'll find out as time goes on. But you do a lot of training, so it is a chance for you to teach something. And I am curious if you would have any advice for a salesperson who runs into a prospect. This may end up getting cut. We're just going to go with it. We'll find out. But if you ever run into a prospect who has anything weird going on, like a scar on their face or, an eye, that may not be as focused, is there anything you'd be able to say to them of how you should handle that situation?
Well, the first thing you wouldn't do is let's take your first example, because that's a real story. If they have a scar on their face, don't stare at it. All right. Don't stare at it.
Why would you say that, Brian?
Yeah. So, and then the second one is, be real about it. And I think that helps, because if someone has a scar that comes from one side down to here and you're staring at it for about a minute or 2 or 5 minutes, they know it. So don't try to pass it off like you weren't staring. You might as well just come out with it and say, hey man, what the hell's wrong with your face? What happened? What happened? What happened?
Not so much here.
And you'll find out that you probably are the only transparent person that had the guts enough to ask them what the hell happened there, and you could get a friendship out of it.
Absolutely.
So
it may or may not end up being a customer. You never know, right?
You never know. You never know. So that's what I would do.
All right. Anything else, Shane?
Be as real as you can be.
No, man. Unless Bryant's got anything else, dude. Like, anything else from you?
I just think, I think this is one of the best industries to be in. I mean, it's made a career for all of us, that were a part of it. And, I think, as you look at HVAC, I mean, you won't walk into a building today that doesn't have it. It's something that, started off years and years and years ago as only a privileged item to have. And today it's a necessity. And I think, what we do in cooling is really a crucial point to what exists in our world today. You can't have heart surgery if you don't have cooling. You can't have podcasts with data if you don't have data centers and things like that. You can't have blood given to you if you can't have refrigeration. And really, I laugh about this, but it's true. And I don't laugh about it in a bad way, but what we do matters. And what we do is really life and death. I mean, if you think about it, it is an important part of what we do today. And being able to be a part of something that, if it's helping people in their jobs or their manufacturing, or being a part of stuff that can be life related, I'm a part of that, and I enjoy it. I take it serious, and I think the best thing to tell everyone that's either just entering this is, number one, don't take anything personal. This is something that is a great opportunity. Any rejection you get, anything that's a no, is not a rejection. It's an opportunity. It just may not be your opportunity right now. It's your opportunity down the line. And even your greatest opportunity or your greatest rejection and it becomes an opportunity, is you still have the ability, even if you haven't gotten an order or you didn't get the sale or you lost a contract, you still have the opportunity to still outwork the competitor that did get that order. Because I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, if you're passionate and you believe what you're doing, you'll have more contact with the client you didn't get the order from than the one who probably sold it. Because once it's sold, they move on or they don't pay attention to it. And if you're still chasing that client, showing them that you still want their business after the fact, you're going to get it. I mean, that's just hands down. So we never talk about a client we've lost or a client or an order we didn't get. We just talk about how that client is now going to go on our hit list and not be removed from that hit list ever until we have business. And then once we have business, then we're going to do our best to retain it, you know, with what we do. So I think that's about it. I mean, you just be passionate, be real, be transparent. Don't come with a sales line. Yeah. Just be who you are and believe in what you do. And I think that's the key to success at whatever you're selling, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter.
Tell good stories.
So,
yep. Yeah.
Tell good stories. Yep. Be a listener.
Can't rap on anything much better than that, man, dude. It's always a pleasure to see you, man. We've gotten to be really good friends with you over the years. We love you. We appreciate you coming on the podcast. We can't wait to get together in person again as soon as we can.
I love it. I love you guys. You guys do a great job.
See you.
Soon.